Hi hack friends, welcome back to this lovely Thursday edition. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 easiest food scraps to grow. Believe it or not, a lot of our leftover produce can be turned into plants and into food for us to eat throughout the summer. This list that I'm going to talk about starts with the easiest ones that are going to get the quickest results and moves to ones that will take a bit longer to grow. Did you know that you can grow food in any pot if it has soil in it? It can be grown inside or on your deck or balcony. It can be grown into the ground if you have some soil outside, maybe where flowers can go or where there's just some leftover soil. There's lots of places that you can actually grow food. So let's begin with the easiest one to grow. So first, the easiest to grow is actually green onions. What you need to do is cut the base so that there is about 2 inches left and you stick them into the water. You'll notice that they'll start growing roots, and as they do, you can start planting them into soil and they will keep growing. Believe it or not, our green onions actually popped up from last year when we planted them in the ground, and we now have green onions growing for this year. Second easiest thing to grow are lentils. You can just take lentils out of your pantry, and what we're going to be doing is rinsing them so that we can get them to sprout and you can actually eat the lentil sprouts. After rinsing them, you can place them in a jar and fill the jar up with cold water. You need to tie a piece of cloth on top of the jar that's going to let water in and out. You want to make sure that when you're soaking your lentils that you're keeping them in a warm place on the counter. After overnight soaking, you drain the water out to place in new water. If you don't do this, your water is going to get a little bit gross and it might actually make it unedible. So you want to make sure you're rinsing them twice a day. After rinsing them and filling up your jar, after 3 to 5 days, you're going to see sprouts growing out of your lentils that are completely edible. Third easiest thing to grow is romaine lettuce. The lettuce you see inside your Caesar salads. So when you're cutting your lettuce, you cut off about 2 inches off the base, and usually that gets tossed in the garbage. But if you place that into water, actually the lettuce will keep growing from the inside. Once you see roots shooting out of the bottom of your lettuce, you know it's ready to go into the dirt to become a plant that will keep growing all summer long. Next is peppermint, but this actually works for any plant-based herb you buy at the grocery store. What you do is you take a cutting and you remove all the leaves but the top leaf. Then you place those stems into a jar and wait for roots to grow. Once the roots start growing, you can plant them into the soil and then they will continue to grow all season. Peppermint is especially special because it will actually come back next year. Number 5, easiest to grow, is celery. It's very similar to lettuce, where you cut off 2 inches of the base and leave that scrap that you typically throw out and put into about 1 inch of water. When you see roots starting to grow, you know it's time to put it into the dirt and you will get a celery plant that will grow for the rest of the summer. Number 6 is carrots. There are lots of varieties of carrots that come in all sorts of colors, so they are very fun to grow. To grow them, you do need to cut about 1 inch from the base, and that typically goes into scraps, but this time you're actually going to put it into any jar and wait for roots. Then you're going to plant the carrots into the soil to watch the tops grow. Now, unlike celery and lettuce, carrots are a little bit more difficult because they're a root vegetable. So when you plant them into the soil, you're actually going to see the stems grow into seeds. You can harvest the seeds, and then from those seeds you plant them into the ground, and that is when new carrots will start to grow. You could do that still during this summer. Next, number 7 is potatoes. I don't know if you've ever noticed these potato eyes or shoots that start popping out of a rotting potato, but those shoots are actually what we'd plant into the ground. And as you can see, planting one potato into the ground can grow multiple potatoes from stemming shoots. Number 8 is garlic, that delicious herb we all love to cook with. It's only here because it takes a while to grow and that it's not hard to grow. So the first way to grow garlic is if we see the green shoots popping out of our garlic, you put it into an inch of water to encourage the roots to grow. Once the roots are growing, you can plant them into a pot or into the ground. The second way is to break the cloves of garlic into individual pieces and just directly plant them into the ground. Number 9 is peppers. There are a variety of peppers, and any pepper variety this method will work for. To begin, when you cut off the top of the pepper, you'll see that there are lots of seeds. Take those seeds and soak them to encourage germination. After 1 day, you can now direct sow the seeds into soil by creating a little trench with your finger and spacing the seeds about 1 inch apart from each other. After all the seeds are sowed, you cover them with soil and water them to make sure the soil is nice and wet. With any luck and continuous watering but once a week, your pepper plants will start growing. After a few months, you'll start to see the peppers growing and growing bigger and bigger until you're ready to pick them and eat them. Last but definitely not least is number 10, sunflower seeds. To do this, you can take a bag of spits with the sunflower seeds and plant them into pots. You want to make sure that you plant them with lots of space because sunflower seeds grow really, really big. Again, with watering and care, after a full summer, they can grow really, really tall. And even butterflies like to land on them, so those are great things to plant. At the end of the summer, you're going to take the head of the flower and pull the seeds out again. You can then eat the sunflower seeds or even keep some for next year to keep them growing year after year. I hope you guys enjoyed my video this week and are excited to get into the kitchen and try to start growing things. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I might just go into now maintaining these plants and how to care for them throughout the summer. Okay, well, we'll see you next week. Bye for now.